how many of you attended yesterday's very interesting session about the PostGIS? Good number. Till we have a new people to learn about the PostGIS, we can talk about more. So today in this session, I'm going to talk about like how we can use the PostGIS in a Postgres to build a GIS-based application. This session will not be a technical session. This will be kind of informative, and how multiple opportunities can be built using the GIS application will be around that one only. So before that, let me introduce myself first. So yeah, so as he explained, right, so I am Avinash Shashikant Dalvi. People can call me Avi. I am a senior software engineer at Eagleview, India. Eagleview has a R&D office in India, and they have a product-based company in US. So as a career-wise, I am a full-stack developer, and I am a AWS community builder selected by AWS. Also along with that, supporting co-organizer for the Docker Bangalore meetup and the Collabness meetup. And pretty much active in multiple communities, AWS, Kubernetes, Docker, and the Postgres, PHP communities also. So I keep doing the talk multiple, attending the meetups, and organizing the events also. So that's about myself. And from the last 12 years, I was keep writing the blogs on my blogs called internetkatta.com. So you can find out this, plenty of blogs which I've written from last 12 years based on my experiences, based on my failure, and what I'm learning so far done. That's about myself. So let's talk about like what will be today's roadmap. I have put it like this way in the roadmap because we are going to talk about in a GIS way, right? So everything is like root, GIS, geo-coordinate. That's why I put like this. You want to do something little bit interesting wise. So I put the map like, okay, what we are going to talk about. So we'll start the journey from the what is GIS, then we'll talk about the trends and challenges, then we'll talk about the special data types and format, PostGIS, what are the PostGIS functions will be there, what are the use cases currently available, what is the opportunity for use cases on that we'll talk about it, and then we'll have final conclusion on that. So he's a Waldo Tobler. He's an American geographer and cartographer. He's very famous in terms of geography one. He told one thing about it, like everything is related to everything else, but near things are more related to than distant things. So actually, this statement clearly says that what about GIS? Okay, GIS is like whatever I stand here, wherever I stand here, that's my place. That's the geolocation, like lat long will be there. So it's very clear that everything is related to everything. You don't require any kind of relations in a GIS when you talking about GIS or geospatial information, right? It's because they are related to each other by the location, by lat long, by multiple way of directions there. And the more you go nearer and nearer, the more are you feel like the distant thing. That's what we were talking about things. So what is the fact like about the GIS, right? So GIS, the common definitions about it like geographic info system, it's like a special tool which help us to understand, to analyze the spatial data. But what is the spatial data means exactly? Like, so there are few questions which come around here. It's like that, okay, which houses are closest to park? What is the fastest route to deliver a pizza? Where are the best places to plant tree? How many of using Uber, Blinkit? Can I raise hand? Okay, good. So I think these are the very normal use cases in our normal day-to-day life, right? Because we use that. And everything talk about distance. Everything talk about like how much my driver is nearby to me, or maybe where is my deliveries, like all this part. So everything we are talking about distance, everything talking about that will come around that GIS only. So that's about talk about the spatial data one. So spatial refers to the anything related to position, distances, shape, and sizes. That on the map side. I think yesterday one of the sessions very clearly said that in childhood we used to use the paper atlas map. I think everyone remember that one. And it is saying that, okay, we thought about like, okay, the earth is like a flat kind of thing, but later we got to know like earth is like a spiral, right? So, but in the geography also, like here, so there are two definitions will be there. Like because geometry consider that the earth is a flat, and the geography consider that is a spiral. So whenever you're talking about the spatial data, right, in terms of the vector one, like that will have a kind of a distance, position. So that can be a straight polygon point will be there. We'll come to that point, like what are the type of will be there in that. There are few interesting facts I want to share here, like because that will be open up a new opportunity in market, and that will also like we can say make an interest into that. Okay, why we should learn about a GIS, why we should talk about GIS, what is the important about that? This is one factor, and every year keep increasing that fact. This is the current data analysis on the market and markets one. But the fun fact is that I'm not expert of market. It is just I'm learning it. So I just put up that one. So it's clearly saying that a geographic information system market is expected to reach by 14.5 billion by 2025. There are one more also. The fact is like it can go into 140 billion by 2028. That also prediction is there. So this is kind of, it keep growing around that, and so there are a lot of opportunity will come across that. By next slide, you will get to know how it can be getting the opportunity more. So this is kind of GIS every trend. But before that, I want to understand like what is the current trend. I think yesterday also in many talks and keynote talks, we talk about a lot of things, right? What is the word, one word is continuously buzzing from last 2 years, maybe? AI, right? But apart from the AI also, there is one word which is always evergreen trend is the GIS, but no one aware about that part. Because since the earth is started, since we are here, that will be keep going on since the earth will be alive. Whatever technology will come around that. The lat long will not go anywhere. Our distance will not go change anywhere. That is why the GIS is evergreen trend. And this is some fact about current news, whatever is there. You can say about like lot of the government, lot of the companies in India also now investing into GIS market. That is one of the example is like in Maharashtra, Pune government started looking into that, how they can utilize the ready reckoner rate. Ready reckoner is the one of the property rate which decide when you're selling the property. Okay, so that will be decided on the GIS data. How that will decide, that we can little bit talk about that. I will not go in detail. We can discuss a little bit. But based on the data, there will be some data input will be there, and based on the geo information, it can link together, and that data can be used for the analysis and the better transparency. At this moment, when you are selling a flat or when you are paying the property tax also, we don't have a clarity. Okay, what exactly rate is calculating, how exactly calculating, sometimes it get up, sometimes it go down, we don't have a clarity. But now government entities started looking into that, and Bangalore also started looking into that, assigning the PID, that is called property ID, to each property along with the GIS information. So these are the things, different trends are going on it, and multiple trends are going on that. Here also, we can say our news are there. One more thing I got to know yesterday when I was attending the GIS talk is that I just added the last minute one. This is like Madhya Pradesh government also arranged one GIS summit specifically, and where they asked for all GIS enthusiasm, all expert to get with the new ideas how can we become a better countries also. That's why a lot of summit happens, and they have started some initiative also, Vikasit Bharat. Government also now looking into that, how they can give the loss of the crops, right, when you happen to the due to heavy rain, by better way. Currently, just people go there, do the survey, there is a gap will be there, somebody will not measure, somebody will measure. So a lot of different farmer may miss it. But there is when we attach a technology with the fact, right, automatically that will slowly get better way, and that's why government is looking into that GIS way. So this is all about like GIS trend, GIS fact about it. So let's talk about next one. What is a spatial data type, right? So it's very simple image, not too very much complicated on that part. It's, as I said, right, when I say the geometry wise, we consider the earth is the flat, okay, and we consider based on that. So it will be like 1 point. So there are three major concepts in the GIS data type is like point, lines, and polygon, and very simple. Well, point means like where I stand, that is my point. Okay, if I calculate the distance from this person to this person, that's come on the line one, and there might be a multi lines also. But this is a standard one, right? So multi-line can be one point to here and that point to here, but that is not joining me. So that can be a multi-line. When polygon, it is like, it starts from the one end, and it starts from this end to this end and this end, and again coming back to that's called the polygon. So polygon can be your farmland. Polygon can be any property, right? That can be. And the line can be your road, your pipeline. That can be a line also. And the point can be your gas station, your petrol station. That can be a points. So these are the things generally come as a special data types one. So how this data gets stored, right? What kind of data we can see that? So in general, there are many more data formats are available, and SE is one of the organizers which actually work on the based on the defining all the prototypes and what kind of data can be stored to make a standardized way to share that data across the multiple format. So these are very common which is used. One is GeoJSON, KML, and shapefile. I'll just show you how sample GeoJSON look like. Are you able to see that JSON? Let's click on that. Yeah. So this JSON actually consists of multiple things like point and line string. When I say point, right, point pointing to here. And this is the multi-line. And this will be a polygon side. So that can be represented, how you can represent in the GeoJSON, it is like the type called feature collection that will have a parent type. Under the type, we can have a multiple types will be defined. So in a GIS, we call as a feature. Okay, when you say feature, it's like either can be a line, can be a point, and can be a polygon. So that way, the picture type will be point, and the line string and the multi-polygon will be there. And accordingly, if you play around with any coordinate, right, you can move around that one. Because whatever the coordinate we are written here, the line can be drawn accordingly. So this is how exactly GeoJSON look like. So next one is maybe if you're not able to see that, this may be a little bit larger. You can see that, get a glimpse of that how GeoJSON look like. So as I said, right, it's a line string, and then the polygon will become like that. And when you have polygon, we'll have a combination of how many points will be there. If the 5 corner, then 5 geo coordinate will be there, and they are attached to this one. So maybe start and end point of that will be similar one. The next format is shapefile. The shapefile generally we call, because this is defined by the S3. S3 is a company, as I said, right? Defined by S3. Whatever the data which we seen here, the point, polygon, multi-lines, right? That can be segregated in like this. So each feature can have the 4 type of files, like the DBF, like the PRJ, SHF, and SHF. DBF file will have a database entry. Like we can see that easily when you import that particular file into the GIS viewer, the software called GIS viewer. There are multiple are there. ArcGIS is the paid software. QGIS is the open source software where you can see that. FME is there. FME also we can see that like when you open up this file, you can easily see the maps around that, and whatever data is will be there, you can easily see that .s will be there. So any of you attended yesterday's sessions, right? They have seen that big map and small dotted was there like that. So this is the like format. So each feature can have a multiple files. We can combine together also because if you want to do it, there is a processing will be there by different tools. So we can combine that file and create a one files also. That's how generally work it. So when it's a shape file, we can see that shape file. And if you have, so what generally when you're working with that, generally any kind of thing, data will be shared in the shapefile format. Most of the time, like we can say 80 to 90% people will share the data into shapefile format. Then how can we import into database, right? There are multiple tools will come, like shape2, PSQL tool will become, their command line tool will be there. You can connect to the QGIS software where connect to the Postgres and easily import data into the database one. So these are the like data format will be there. Now let's talk about the PostGIS, like why the PostGIS will be there and why what will be helpful there, right? Just for fun fact here, like I'm just saying that okay, PostGIS is the fastest thing, fastest like query in the PostGIS because it run the special query. And yesterday talks also they have mentioned about like how the indexing work in the PostGIS, how it can be more faster than that. So there are a couple of already databases are available in terms of the storing a GIS data in like open source are there, some paids are there. But the PostGIS is more famous because of the special index. Because special index gives you a more powerful weapon, I can say weapon, right, for the querying. Because when you are storing a data into the GIS format called lat-long or GeoJSON format, you need to have the more faster way of data, and that's required the special index. But why special index will get important here? We'll talk about the next slide, how exactly it will work. So just the definitions, we can like skip on that, like what is PostGIS one. PostGIS is a database management system and special database, adding a support for 3 functions called special type, the type which we have seen that, line, polygon, and points. Indexes what we're talking about, like dealing with the primary key or the unique part, right? And the functions, which function we can use to retrieve our data or manipulate the data that can be there. So before PostGIS, like just go into the history, like why PostGIS was invented. Like maybe in around 2000, the Postgres was also having the GIS functionality, but that was not having the full-fledged capability of managing that kind of functionality which required to handle such a huge data which is available in GIS. So the already has a geometry type, but there are 2 limited for the GIS type analysis because it can be used for simple project, but it cannot be used for the big analysis project. Like, and that, as I said, right, it was only built for the academic researches, and that's how the PostGIS was born from that problem. And I think everyone knows that when there is a problem, the solutions arise there. And that's how the PostGIS came across in the picture. Earth is a primary key. So when you are dealing with the GIS, make sure, remember this line, the Earth is a primary key. When I say Earth is a primary key, right, to GIS data, handle with the GIS data, deal with the GIS data, we don't require any primary key. Wherever you are standing it, wherever particular object is there, that location is a unique one. Because every lat-long is a unique. So you don't require any specific primary key to define, like incremental or any combination of that one will not require. So very important statement of when you're dealing with the GIS is Earth is the primary key and the special is the universal key by itself. And for that only, we use that in PostGIS, the special index part. So let's talk about the PostGIS functions. What are the PostGIS functions are available, right? I cannot give all the functions because there are plenty of functions available there. But this is a very, you can say, very majorly used function and common which we can correlate that function. I'll just give a glimpse on that part because there many are there. You can just go to the PostGIS data, like documentation will say lines of number of function will be available. So ST area, ST D within, ST content. Let's talk about individual one by one. So ST area, that's very common. I think it's just calculate the area. Like you can see the SQL query, like just put the ST area around the geometry. So if you have a polygon, right? So if you have polygon, just put the ST underscore area around that column name. The polygon can be a column name. Geom is just column name. You can say that, and you can put the which measurement unit you want, like a square foot, a square meter. Accordingly, it will be can convert that also. So there are 2 functions here mentioned. You can have the direct convergence, and you can have a multiplication with the square meters also here. So that way we can calculate the area. So one of the example in Eagleview we use, right? We capture the images through the flights and drones, right? So there we have to go to we have to check out the solar roof measurement. So for the solar roof measurement, people don't go to visit the site directly. They just come to an application because we have a good quality images. Just measure everything on the images itself. by using this function, example of ST area, right? Just draw the lines on one point to one point like that, and just the area will be calculated there, and whatever quotation they want to send to the customer can be sent easily. That's how the ST areas work. Next example is like ST within one. Like the name itself is saying that within, right? So whatever, if I'm standing here, whatever is like within my area of circle, it can be a cover. So example of find the nearest hospital to each school, or maybe that's within a 300 unit of school, right? You can mention that like this is a school and there are multiple hospitals there. So in a hospital, some are out of the boundaries, like out of the 3,000 units. So whichever they're inside one can be find out easily. The one of the another example of the in our normal day-to-day life is like Blinkit, right? When you Blinkit, you order. Okay, when you order, the Blinkit internally backend, they also use like, okay, what kind of, how many the delivery persons are within that meter, assign that particular service to them so they can go to the nearest Blinkit store and grab the things. So that is how exactly it works. I'm not sure whether they are using a GIS or not, but I'm just giving the example of that day-to-day life where we can correlate particular where the SD within can be used. Yeah, correct. I think yesterday there was a one in session also they clearly said that the S3 indexes they use it in Uber. Yeah, this is a query how can be used like select distinct on the SGGAD. This is a simple example, like a school name will be there, and geom is a one over a column where the geometry gets stored, and hospital name, and then we can have a ST D within geom column and edge geom column. So edge geom column will be whichever the another column which we are going to do it, we can find out easily. So it will be input, and this will be the whatever data will be there, and accordingly that we can find out easily. Next is ST content. So ST contents has a different rule. We can say the object which is inside the particular, suppose A and B is there, right? So B should be inside A, and B should be at least lie on the boundary of A. Like that, the rule is there for ST content one. So example of like what truck are in there in service depot, you can find out accordingly, right? So similar way in Blinkit also, or maybe Uber also, you can find out, okay, how many drivers are around my thing, whether it's near to my area or maybe online or not, exactly that we can find out. So these are the three commonly used functions. As per this one, this is a query. Yeah. There are many functions as I mentioned, and there are all are there, but which is very common, or like intersect, cover by, cover, disjoint also there, equals are there. We can easily equally find overlap, touches, convex hull, and unions also are there, because that doesn't require any kind of key comparison, right? Because lat long itself has their comparison parameters. Now, how can we create the tables? Like just like simply our MySQL or the Postgres database also, nothing is there. We just have to put the, okay, what kind of type we want to use it. So my table, give a column name GOG or geom or geometry or whatever the column you wanted to use it. Like in general, the good practices of that, people use the name called WKB-geometry as a column name, because it is the standard word used across the GIS industry. But it's up to us openly to use any column name. But you can define the type as a geography and the points for 40. This is for geography and this is for geometry. So when I say geography, right, it is like a spiral. And when you say geometry, it will be a flat one. So accordingly, you can mention that, okay, what is a point, polygon, line string, multi-string are there, multi-polygons are there, we can define it. So let's talk about now, we talk about the Postgres type and all this one. Let's talk about now what real word of GIS and where it can be used there. Like, so there are multiple, not only kind of software, right? Hardware also can use it. So hardware, software, both are using there. There are many segment which is already using. I mean, out of India also there are many things, many people are using it already. As I said, Eagleview has a product called solar roofing measurement, right? So you use in a construction field. So agriculture field, the government already started using it. So yesterday, a very interesting use case was there done by the IIT Bombay for using the cropping health, which is very, very nice use case was there. if anyone have attended, it was they very clearly explained that how it can be used. So agriculture sector is there, transportation there. If I give an example on transportations, right? Recently, the Nitin Gadkari, our transportation minister, has declared that there will be no FASTag anymore. Like there will be no toll naka. We can say in toll naka, right? Toll will not be on the road. Everything be based on your location. That long. It can be tracked easily and you can deduct the money accordingly that way. No need to have the wait in the queue for the pay the tax also. So this is another level of innovations the government are doing slowly, as I said, right? That's why this market is getting more open and getting the more opportunities toward that. Utilities market also they are similar, mining market, oil and gas. Oil and gas is already using, I think Shell is already using that one to manage their storage and everything. Mining, utility will be there. So there are different segment you can use it based on the our use cases. I'll just talk about three different, the common use cases around that, which is healthcare one, how it can be used in healthcare. Like it can be used to mapping the hospital, diseases, people on that. Like example of corona diseases, right? Wherever we can use that corona data. So let's talk about like, how it can be used, okay, instead of having that one, right? So example of corona, we have a data of patients where in each area how many patients are there. Now we have an Excel sheet. Consider we have an Excel sheet. Now how we can link to that particular thing to the GIS data, right? So in that case, government has to maintain the GIS data, which will be provided by the very general, I think OpenStreetMap also provide that, precisely also provide the data, which is common use that data, and we can link that data as using the lat long. So that corona patient data can be linked to the particular geo data by using the lat long as a primary key one, okay, and that can be used easily to search something, okay, how many patients in this area, how many what you can say, oxygen are needed, or how many hospital or maybe the COVID camp is needed nearby, that one we can be analyzed that way. So this is very small use cases, but there can be a big use cases can be built around that one. So that's how exactly healthcare can be used, like fight disease outbreak faster, manage healthcare resources efficiently. Yeah, agriculture, as I said, like the yesterday session was clearly mentioned that we can use for the grow better crop and plant smarter, fight the problems like track pest, diseases, weather track. So they also yesterday also mentioned that they were grabbing the weather data from the one API and they are linking that API data or I think every daily 5 a.m. to the data, which is we call it the parcel data. The word called parcel, when you have say about any piece of land, right? That generally we call it the parcel. So that link to the parcel, okay, this parcel area has this kind of weather data. That's how we can use this in agriculture formation only. Yes, and as I said, right, Indian government already started working on these things. They already taking on the initiative, and IIT Bombay is already working on with them and different government initiative. In central government also started looking into that. So there are a lot more opportunity will start coming around that, and there are different opportunity for company also to build something around that and pitch to the government can be open up with this one. So this is the kind of opportunity where now GIS is already in trend, we can say, and is evergreen trend also. Defense sector also, we use it. Already other countries are already using it. India also can be used. Sorry, it's a bad slide. My bad. But yes, defense sector also we can use it to where is our enemy will be there, right? All this can be tracked by using the drone. The drone captures the images, and then based on that we can track down the data which is relevant to particular land or something like that. So yeah, that's about the real world of GIS. And here the resources are there. You can scan this QR code. I have compiled all the resources in the one link, which is all market study. What are the opportunities there? What is the technology resources are there? Some terminology will be there. So I have just put the QR code there. You can grab the QR code and do that one. Like. Yes, and I appreciate you share the feedback with me. It will help me to improve also and give more information, because as it like we are, everyone is learning, right? So we learn together and we grow together. So I appreciate if you share my feedback on the QR code. Will be good for me. So, yep, that's it. Thank you.
Any questions?